They just stand there looking backwards, half unconscious from the pain. They may seem rearranged, but the backwater's swirling, there's something that'll never change. And when I should have been gone a long time, lies and says I'll find ways. Just when we're sheltered under paper, the rockets come at us sideways. Alright, what do we got here? Gotta let everybody know we're doing our thing. Forerunner Vladimir is saying he's gonna make another diss track. I'll believe it when I see it. Alright, so I think that's all the people that we're going to notify there. Yes, I spent a bunch of last night. I didn't do a show. I just didn't really feel up to it. We're going to do one today. We got talent coming in from Delaware. But I spent a bunch of last night reading the rule set for Fiasco. So getting very interested in streaming some games of that. Fiasco is kind of like a collaborative, what you call it, it's a collaborative storytelling game that's based on movies where everything goes wrong. Stuff like Blood Simple or Snatch or Fargo is probably the defining classic in the genre. It's basically meant to be like Coen Brothers games in an RPG. And there's no game master. Everybody kind of collectively decides where they want the story to go. And the setup of it is quite clever. Basically, everybody establishes, like rolling d20s. There's no stats or anything like that. Everybody establishes a character for themselves and a relationship with the person to their left and the person to their right, and a need with each of those people, like something that each of them needs out of the relationship. And then you introduce some objects and locations and jazz like that, and play the game out in a series of acts. And I guess one of the key conceits of it is you can either choose, if you really want to, you can choose to establish the scene yourself, where you talk about, what's going on in the scene, who's there, like what might happen, and so forth, and then let everybody else collectively around the table decide how the scene will resolve, like what happens to your character. Or you can let them set up the scene, and then you can decide how the scene plays out. So it's kind of an interesting thing. There's a little bit of game in there mechanically, just in terms of, what the fuck happened to my arm? I don't know why that hurts. Oh, I was lifting yesterday. Okay, cool. That's why. God, I'm getting old. What you call it there? So it's a really interesting interplay between, as it gets towards the end of the game, you of course would like to have more control over the scenes, but if you resolve the scene, you don't get to, you get to pick the die, but you don't get to set it up. So the other people are going to try and set you up for like certain disaster and so forth. I've played one game of this ever. What did I play? I think the game ended with us rolling an old woman up in a carpet and throwing her off of a bridge. It was like a super fun game. I played it at SanCon way back in might have been like 2016 or 2015, when people still had conventions, with a very strange and interesting and talented group of people right there. But I became very interested recently in collecting some improvisers, people who do professional comedic, as professional as you can be, but people who do comedic improv to do sort of like a live stream series of it. So I may be working on that a little bit today. I'm still trying to figure out what the best way to do that on video is. Somebody really ought to create a video platform that's good for live streamers. I know Restream has done something similar, so I'm going to investigate their platform. They just rolled it out of beta. But getting a bunch of people on camera simultaneously is not the simplest thing in the world, but I might be the simplest thing in the world when all is said and done. Anyhow, You're not here for that, and I'm not here for that either. We're here to edit this story. This is Lemon Maybe and the Electric Lady by Zak Zyz. So we've made it through 64 days of editing, and I've gotten through 61 chapters worth of editing. I need to write books with fewer chapters so that I finish editing them faster. I swear to God. But so far, not much luck with that. The next book that we're going to edit is even longer than this one. We'll probably edit Rapasaurus. But there'll be like a whole rewrite involved with that. I don't anticipate doing that edit before like November or December. That might be my winter project this year. Because I want to just write some new books. I am sick and tired of editing and not writing. Well, now you know. And knowing is half of the battle. So, let's get down to it. This is chapter 61. She Don't Mind Propane. That's awful. We really need to change that chapter title. So, She Don't Mind Propane. That's 4.4. It's 10:11 in the AM, and this is happening in Harlem. Or so they say. Alright. Oh shit, let me highlight Spiky Walk and Logic. I don't want to mass highlight the channel, but came pretty close right there. So, it's stupid to be here. Matthew Wasser. All right, so what's happening in this chapter? It's stupid to be here. Yeah, I don't like that setup at all. Shoutouts for using duty calls. I was thinking about uh, doing some like vacate, evacuate type pun, but better. Okay. It's stupid to be here. Matthew's been walking around his block for half an hour, hoping to catch the security guy away for a mid-morning shit. The fourth time around the block, the guard is missing in action. Duty calls. Matthew slips through the lobby and into the elevator, worrying Gerald might have changed the locks. But his key still fits. There's no police ambush waiting, and no Gerald drunk on the couch. The maid's been in. There's a foggy layer of vanilla air freshener hovering over the dissolute stick. Wow. The maid's been in. Matthew can smell a foggy layer of vanilla air freshener hovering over the dissolute stink of cigarettes stubbed out on dinner plates and Jameson sloshed on the suede couch. Glade does nothing to hide the musky, unshowered stench of Gerald's despair. The melted, plasticky smell of the little microwave pizzas he eats when he's too miserable to even order food. For a moment, Matthew can recreate the whole scene just from the smell of the apartment. Every tiny smell stands out. When did this start? What's happening to him? No, yeah, so let's make that a little bit clearer. When did Matthew become a human bloodhound? It's like his nose had been stuffed up his whole life and suddenly it's wide open. What's happening to him? Shower first. Matthew's clothes are putrid, dusty, torn and stained, caked onto him. There's something sticky on the back of his pants from the pile of cardboard he half slept in. His face and hair feel like they've got a thick sheen of grease on them. His skin feels contaminated. Inside the bathroom, Want a more clever way to say that there? Hmm. Yeah, how the fuck can I say this? Mm-hmm. Oh, shout outs to Batty Goth during this tiny period of time when we still have Mixer. God, yeah, why does so much Microsoft shit flop? You know, they got all the fucking resources in the world, and they're closing down their stores, shutting down Mixer. Again, their phones didn't work out. Those Surface Pros are like You know, like not great. I'm telling you, R.I.P. to Mixer. I never gave a shit about that platform. Oh, and it was so their community guidelines bullshit was like so onerous. You have to like agree to I don't know, like fucking uh you have to like sign an oath that Black Lives Matter or something like that to be on their platform. It's really egregious. Not that Twitch is like any better. To tell you the truth, what is it? Fucking um, that old Twitch just banned some big ass streamer, Doctor Dick something or other. They nobody knows why they did it, but they will literally just ban you for anything over there, man. They just don't care. Mm. There's a lot of rewriting in this chapter right here. Yeah, it was not a great scene previous here. I mean, I like where we're going with it. It's funny how like all of his recollection scenes are in the bathroom. Like it's just him like in his shower. This is like I think the second one of these right here. God. The water's lukewarm now. The heater is depleted. The water goes lukewarm. The heater is depleted. Matthew sighs and climbs out of the shower, into the cold air and clarity. I killed Thirsty and his grandmother. I bombed Grand Central. I shot down a jumbo jet. I killed thousands of people. I killed thousands of people. What am I? Matthew keeps his eyes low, avoiding his reflection. He's lost all of his favorite clothes the last time he... His middle name is fucking Matthew fucking Hausterlitz. Xbox doesn't have a hyphen, but we're deleting Xbox. So it's a good edit, but yeah, it's not gonna make it into the cut. Now he's got to make do with one of those crummy free dentist toothbrushes and a stick of deodorant. Oh, let's. Yeah, we haven't read I killed Thirsty and his grandmother. I bombed Grand Central. I shut down a jumbo jet. I killed thousands of people. What am I? Matthew keeps his eyes low, avoiding his reflection, taking dripping steps into his dark bathroom. Oh, yeah. Matthew keeps his eyes low, avoiding his reflection. He drips onto the floor as he steps into his dark bedroom and shuts his eyes. The vents are rattling. The refrigerator is humming. Matthew is listening for some lingering note of Kaiser Duchance. But he's gone. Maybe Duchance was never there at all. Maybe he was just an excuse. Matthew gets dressed. He's run away twice now. All of his favorite clothes have been lost. The best he can do is a black t-shirt from gym class and a pair of off-brand jeans his grandmother bought him. His grandmother gave him for his birthday. He finds an old backpack from middle school in the back of his closet. Okay, and then here we make a typesetting note. So we'll actually have like the embroidered thing. Another thing that I was thinking about last night was working with the artists that did some of the art in Space Tards to do a different chapter header for each of the 5 days in like a comic book style type. Like each of the, or I can't tell if there are like 5 or 7 days, but I think it would be cool to do like a comic book style cover in black and white for each of the 7 days. And one would be, day 0 would be like a picture of a driver's license with with just an empty silhouette, maybe in like those invisible dotted lines. Or a picture of a DMV wall. And then day 1 would maybe be like Sarah or something like that. I don't know. It sounds like a good way to blow about $700 is what it comes down to. But I think it'd be kind of cool, because I'm not gonna do. There's just too much shit going on in this book for me to, with 80 chapters, we can't have like art for every chapter. It would be ruinously expensive. So maybe like just a few big art pieces. I don't know. We might not do anything fancy for this book. We'll have to see. Where is that? Oh, there's that copy of Space Tards. All right, here we go. It's empty except for a couple broken mechanical pencils, and still smells like a bag lunch was left in it too long. That's all he's got. It'll have to do. So there, we're just talking about how deodorant, like if it just sits out for a long time, it'll kind of shrink as the alcohol sort of evaporates out of it. That beach ball. Jesus. Oh. All right, there we go. No, it's still fucking beach balling. Fucking pages. Every morning with this bullshit. I don't know what the fuck it's doing with itself. Maybe, I'm not even sure if updating OS X would help. I'm gonna try just getting rid. I'm gonna try swapping to a different wireless network. I'll do that shit today. I'm a big sir. What the fuck? There's a safe in Gerald's closet, but Matthew doesn't know the combination. What he does know is the old man has a terrible time with numbers. He can't remember them. Can't figure out a tip at a restaurant. Gerald can't remember phone numbers or figure out the tip at restaurants. The running joke in the family is Gerald went into politics because he could never make it as an accountant. Once Uncle Hector called him the Jew who can't count, and everyone laughed but Gerald and Matthew. When Matthew failed algebra in the first semester, Gerald took him aside. And told him, I know how it is, son. Just keep trying your best. He didn't. Matthew doesn't have whatever busted piece of Gerald keeps him from putting 2 and 2 together. He didn't keep trying. He never tried. Matthew doesn't have whatever disability keeps Gerald from putting 2 and 2 together. No one remembers phone numbers anymore. I can remember about 30 or 40 phone numbers. I can remember like the phone number from when I was like 6 years old. not even fucking kidding. That's just like a weird thing. Like I find it strange when like somebody doesn't have, couldn't even remember his own phone number. Well, keep in mind this is in 2006, right? So it actually is a it actually, back then, it was normal to remember some phone numbers. Now, not so much. Which is fucking weird, right? But, like, it's strange to me when I go out with, like, younger people. And, like, I don't know why it's come up from time to time, but they don't, like, remember their credit card numbers or whatever. Like, they'll need their credit card and they gotta, like, check it. I'm like, why don't you just know this fucking number? You know, like, why don't you know your social security number? You know, why... These are like trivial. You'll see me do it on the other show too. I'll like tell somebody an address and I'm like, yo, the address is 3 numbers. You can't fucking remember that for 15 minutes? They can't. They can't. It's so weird to me, but I don't know. Just our attention spans of one of the things that I want to work on for the next little bit is like last night. I was like kind of sleeping fitfully, and I couldn't focus and everything, and I'm just like struggling to read or pay attention to any one thing, and I just keep like flicking to my phone. I'm like I'm caught in this fucking dopamine loop, just trying to find something to like give me like a little burst of serotonin or what the fuck ever there. And like it just got me thinking, I need to spend like a little bit more time where it's okay to not feel happy, not feel like, oh, this is exciting or whatever. Just take some time and fucking chill out, and not the end of the world if I don't feel stellar every second of the day. You know what I mean? But yeah, it does make sense for 2006, which is when this is set. But yeah, I don't know. What is it? Spud Nude has got me trying some 24-hour fasting thing. I'm gonna give that a shot. I don't know how well I'm gonna do, but I ordered. They have like salt packets that have magnesium and potassium and shit in them for doing the fasting, so you don't piss out all of your electrolytes. Yeah, I'm gonna give that a shot there, but I'd like to do some more sort of resetting of being like caught in that loop of, oh, do this thing, oh, do that thing, do that thing. Next thing you know, the whole fucking day is gone, and you've learned nothing, and there's no resonance to anything. So yeah, definitely thinking about that in the time being. Matthew didn't keep trying. He never tried. He doesn't have whatever disability keeps Gerald from putting two and two together. Algebra wasn't hard, he just never did the homework. Algebra wasn't hard, he just didn't do the homework, and Mr. Clarence was a real cocksucker about it. Plus, Thirsty hated the class like poison, so he skipped a lot. Matthew was happy to skip it with him. Failure was inevitable. All this was. So Matthew knows Gerald must have the combination written down somewhere. He looks in the first and last pages of the books on the desk, forces himself to look in the nightstand. Nothing. Nothing but a bad aroma. From. It's gold. So Matthew knows Gerald must have the combination written down somewhere. He looks in the first and last pages of the books. He flips through the Torah on Gerald's desk, checking the margins. He steels himself for another peek in the sex drawer, gross but no cigar. Finally, he has a brainwave to check inside the shoes. Well, it has a brainwave, seems. Ooh, I like that a lot better. Yeah, we got a couple of like really neat edits here. The like gross but no cigar line. God, that's so bad. It's just awful, but it's exactly the kind of terrible shit that we need in here. And just him like getting this fucking brainwave is much better. We have to take out brainwave because it just doesn't work here. Then he remembers how Gerald used to hide his money in his shoes whenever they went to the beach. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Okay, so check this out, AA. Boom. And let me throw you up on the scoreboard right here. Can I see AA up on there? Oh, I gotta fucking squint at it. Yeah, you just got an edit there. because so what is it? It's 2006 right now, and he is 15 years old. So he would have been born in 1991. What's the asshole astrology sign? Was it like a fucking Taurus or something? Zodiac signs. Libras are number one because they are the most petty out of any sign and hold grudges. The furthest thing from an asshole. This is gay. Oh, no, I can't. I can't fuck with this. Uh, what would be? What would be like a? I could be born on 9/11. Yeah, that works. Yeah, shout outs to being born on 9/11. Wait, when was the first World Trade Center bombing? Was that in like? Yeah, yeah. It was 1993. And that was on February 26th. So I think it's a little pat to have him be born on 9/11, but let's just make it instead of 9/11, which is just too much. Let's make it February 26th, 19. Yeah, 1991. So he was born on. He would be, yeah, that makes him 15. Cool. So yeah, good note with the birthday thing because people do use their kids' birthdays for like a lot of shit. Um, and I like that he was born on the day of the World Trade Center bombing, but 2 years prior. So he might have helped perpetrate that one too. Wait, was it February 26th? Yeah. 1993. Yeah, who was responsible for that Trade Center bombing? Ramzi Youssef and Ayad Ismail. Interstate transportation of explosives. That was the mastermind of the. What a gay. Like, I don't know why we're using gay as a pejorative. We don't do that any longer. I guess I'm writing about a 15-year-old boy and I've mentally reverted to being one. That's actually what's happening to me. Christ. All right, so hold on. Yeah, what do these look like? Yeah, this is where we were looking at. Yeah, 1 ounce fine gold. How much is 10 ounces of gold worth? Okay, so it's like $6,000. It's not like the most gold in the world. Oh, what's up, Spathy? Well, we're going to do a read through of the chapter after this so you can get to all the fun shit that you've missed. So, we're working on a Matthew chapter right now in the aftermath of him like stomping his friend's grandmother to death. He is preparing to once again try to flee the city. Mm, what a big space. Ooh. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. It takes Matthew 2 tries to pop the safe. On the top shelf is a stack of $100 bills wrapped in a Ziploc bag. There's also a stack of clear plastic cases. Inside each is a rectangle of gold that reads, Credit Suisse, 1 ounce, fine gold, 999999. There are 10 of them. Spacing inconsistent around fine. I got that before you did. Could change that to Matthew puts all 10 in the backpack. There are 10 of them. Matthew takes them all. Boom. I like that. Yeah, because, I mean, part of what we want to do here is, like, there's this note of, oh, you know, Gerald's combination to his safe is Matthew's birthday, and Matthew is just taking everything from him, you know, and he doesn't hesitate either. There's, like, there's no point where he, like, conscience intervenes or anything like that. He's just taking, and that's who Matthew is. Also, this should be centered. And also, we want to make a note that saith, yeah, we'll just do a line art thing of the gold bar. I fucking love all that. God, I should have been recording an audiobook the last several months. Maybe I'll work on that today. I got a bunch of shit I got to do today. We got to prepare the studio for Eraser. I'm going to text him and check and make sure that he still wants to come. I got to eat well today, get some exercise in. Yeah, I've just been kind of like floundering for like the past week or so. I don't know how well you can tell from the stream. But yeah, any night where I don't do a show, something is probably wrong. And not terribly wrong, but wrong enough, you know? The Glock reads 26 Austria, 9x19 on the side. Matthew never, ever would have suspected Gerald had a gun. Okay, so Glocks have a trigger safety. Let's see. Where are they there? So the Glock action system. Huh. Yeah, they got like a weird. Let's just take out the part about the safety, because it's like it's a pain in the ass to describe this whole like scissor lock thing. No, no, no. He puts on the backpack. All right, cool. The Glock reads 26 Austria 9x19 on the side. Matthew never, ever would have suspected Gerald. Yeah. Matthew never would have suspected Gerald had a gun. Wonder. Whole thing must be his Holocaust 2.0 survival kit. The gun is surprisingly heavy. Let's just say it's heavy. The gun is heavy, but it's a good fit in his hand. Matthew gets his old wool overcoat from the closet in the hall. He puts it on and slides the gun into the front pocket, checking himself in the mirror. You can't tell it's there. Good. He puts on the backpack. Surprisingly. Yeah, surprisingly. Serp. At the front door, Matthew pauses for a moment. He knows he'll never come back here. What the fuck is this? Oh. Mm-hmm. Who wants this building to burn? Who wants to start that fire? Is it Matthew or Duchance? Matthew holds out a palm, flexes his fingers, and searches himself for the wiry feeling. But there's no... It's just him. The sense of other has grown fainter and fainter since he left Firsty's house, dialing... No, so he tore the phone off the hook. Two B's in an apartment. It's just him. The sense of other has grown fainter. The sense of other has grown fainter since he left Thirsty's apartment. The sense of other has diminished since he left Thirsty's apartment. Duchance's absence feels like a knife pulled out of a wound. Matthew ought to just light this and climb into the tub, give himself to the flames, pay for everything terrible he's done in one swift explosion, then nothing forever. Matthew doesn't believe in hell. The devil lives in Chinatown. Whew. If the gray man wants Harlem to burn, he can fucking do it himself. Matthew drags the propane canister. Mm. He heads for the elevator and doesn't bother to shut the door. He leaves and doesn't bother to shut the door. Okay, cool. Fuck you and your bridge. All right, so that should be chapter 61 right there. What is chapter 60? Oh, shit. Landy is in the next chapter. All right. I'm going to give Spathy a point for that erupts in flames. Okay. That's a pretty short chapter, IMO. So let's try our new thing of going through it afterward. But let's take a short break first. I'll be right back. Whew. Yeah, to summon the will to reread the chapter. All right, so this is chapter 61. She don't mind propane. That's awful. Yeah, let's get that shit off of there. Propane. You guys know that it's a riff on the whole thing, but I, on the other hand, it's stupid to be here. Matthew's been walking around his block for half an hour, hoping to catch the security guy. Matthew's been walking around the block, hoping to catch the security guy away for a mid-morning shit. For the fourth time around, the guard is missing in action. The fourth time around, the guard is missing in action. Duty calls. Matthew slips through the lobby and into the elevator. Hoping Gerald hasn't changed the locks. But his key still fits. There's no police ambush waiting, and Gerald isn't passed out on the couch. The maid's been in. Matthew can smell a foggy layer of vanilla air freshener hovering over the dissolute funk.
Matthew can smell a foggy layer of vanilla air freshener above the dissolute stink of cigarettes stubbed out on dinner plates and Jameson slosh on the suede couch. Glade does nothing to hide the musky, unshowered stench of Gerald's despair. The kitchen has the melted, plasticky smell of the little microwave pizzas he eats when he's too drunk to even order food. Matthew can recreate the whole scene from smell alone. The hallway outside Gerald's bathroom is redolent with acrid coffee piss and a lingering hangover shit. Acrid coffee, urine, and a lingering hangover shit. Notes of deodorant, shampoo, and aftershave thread around the funk. Every tiny smell stands out. Every smell is distinct and distinguishable. I don't think... Every smell is distinct. Yeah, that's fine. Each smell is distinct. When did Matthew become a human bloodhound? It's like his nose has been stuffed up his whole life and suddenly it's wide open. What's happening to him? What the hell is happening to him? Shower first. He doesn't know. He doesn't want to know. He doesn't want to take a shower either, but he has to. Matthew's clothes are putrid, dusty, torn and stained, caked onto him. There's something sticky on the back of his pants from the pile of cardboard he half slept in. His skin feels contaminated. As Matthew strips down and throws his clothes in the hamper, he realizes they're evidence of an atrocity. He ought to burn them. But he didn't bother to burn the clothes he wore during the JFK shooting, and they were just as bad. And they were just as damning. The maid's name is Maria Benares. She's from Guatemala. Manir... we should know if that's like Monday or Tuesday. Oh, how many days ago is that? So he does the shooting on the first night, right? So let's track back. 61. And I think if we go here, so October 11th and 3 days ago. So that was Thursday. I think it was Monday. A plane crashing into JFK Airport. And then It Isn't Me, chapter 22. When did that fucking happen? Oh, yeah, damn it. Oh, our chapters are all out of whack. 20. Fuck. 19. Fuck. I think that's day 1 that happens on. No, maybe it's day 2. No, it's day 1. So we're day 4, so that was Monday that he did that. And let me see if I can find where we broke our pagination and why we broke our pagination. I'm going way back. Spare key. Okay, so C'est la vie is almost right. Yeah, you can see the chapters fucking up little by little. We just gotta get back to the right one. I can probably do this off stream, honestly. This is not super interesting to readers, and we like broke up our routine a little bit, but it was cool. So chapter 14 is where we start fucking up. C'est la vie right here. It's one down. And let's get to 15. The spare key. So the spare key is where it fucks up. Hopefully I don't have to fix every fucking chapter. Let's go to 16. 16's good. And 17. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We don't really have to do this. Yeah, 18 is where we fuck up again. Yeah, it's weird to break the entire pagination. And then maybe 19 is where we'll have our fix. 19 is good. 20 is good. 61 is good. Okay, cool. Well, I'm editing the wrong chapter number every day. I have no idea. Okay, so back to Monday. Marie even got most of the blood out. She's been doing his dirty laundry for years, wet dream sheets and crusty socks. Never a word of complaint. Matthew has never once thanked her. He's surprised by how much that bothers him, considering everything else that happened today. It's a terrible mistake to think about it. Matthew hops into the shower before it gets hot. Anything to escape. Preferring shock to thought. So I think the wrong chapter number each day might just that might just be the day where we split like chapters, or maybe I just forgot to fucking edit it today or whatever. I don't know. It's a terrible mistake to remember anything. I like that, yeah. Matthew hops into the shower before it has time to get hot, preferring shock to thought. He gasps, huh, 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 as the freezing water pelts him, stinging the raw palms of his hands. He was worried they were going to be toast. They were... Matthew was worried his hands were toast. They were all black and throbbing after that woman shocked him. But it all washes off. Underneath the spray, they're inflamed, but mostly pink. Must have just been soot. Frowning, Matthew turns the water all the way to hot. He deserves to hurt worse. At first, the hot water is scalding, but he gets used to it. It isn't hot enough to burn, or to drive away everything he's done. Matthew soaps up and shampoos twice. Matthew soaps up. He shampoos twice to get all the little chunks of concrete out of his hair. If he's going to live on the street, he should probably shave it all off. Less to deal with.
No, I thought every chapter was off by one. No, it wasn't every chapter was off by one. The spacing at the end of each chapter was off by one because we made some changes to one chapter and it fucked up each chapter starting on a new page because I am too lazy to use the page break character correctly, which I should really be doing, but it's too late. Like, we've already done this whole manuscript. The water goes lukewarm. The heater is depleted. Matthew sighs and climbs out of the shower into cold air and clarity. Into the unwelcome grip of cold air and clarity. I killed Thirsty and his grandmother. I bombed Grand Central. I shot down a jumbo jet. I have killed thousands of people. What am I? I don't even feel that bad. What am I? I should feel more than this. What the fuck am I? Yeah, I like that better. Matthew keeps his eyes low, avoiding his reflection. He drips onto the floor as he steps into his dark bathroom and shuts his eyes. The vents are rattling, the refrigerator is humming. Matthew is listening for some lingering note of Kaiser Duchance. But he's gone. Maybe Duchance was never there at all. Maybe he was just an excuse. Matthew gets dressed. All of his favorite clothes have been lost. He doesn't dare wear the ones from JFK. The best he can do is a black t-shirt from gym class and a pair of off-brand jeans his grandmother gave him for his birthday. Matthew, he rummages in his closet until he finds his old backpack from middle school, the one with his initials embroidered on it. MFH. I bet his real first name, or his real middle name would be like Fitzgerald or something like that. Because fuck F. Scott. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's empty except for a couple broken mechanical pencils, and it still smells like a lunch bag. The backpack is empty except for... The backpack is empty. The backpack is empty except for a couple of broken... The backpack is empty except for a couple of broken mechanical pencils. It still smells like a bag lunch was left in it a little too long. It'll have to do.
Matthew's deodorant and toothbrush both got packed for the failed escape to Costa Rica. Now he's got to settle for a crummy-free toothbrush he got at the dentist and a deodorant from under the sink that shrunk. There's no toothpaste. Matthew steals Gerald's Sensodyne from his bathroom, then starts hunting through his bedroom for money. In the Not getting any edits on this guy, so must be doing well. Matthew steals Gerald's Sensodyne from his bathroom, then starts hunting through his bedroom for money. There's an old watch and a wedding ring in the top drawer of the nightstand, but Matthew doubts he can pawn them. In the drawer beneath is a big black dildo and lube. Matthew shuts the drawer quickly. Matthew slaps the drawer shut. He wishes he didn't see that. Wishes he didn't smell that. More, he wishes he didn't smell it. He wishes he didn't see that. Wishes he didn't smell that. Yeah. He wishes he hadn't seen that. Wishes he didn't. It's so clunky and. Let's see here. Wishing he didn't smell it. Oh, that's better. Matthew slaps the drawer shut, wishing he hadn't seen that. Wishing he didn't smell it. There's a safe in Gerald's closet, but Matthew doesn't know the combination. What he does know is that the old man has a terrible time with numbers. Gerald can't remember phone numbers or figure out the tip at restaurants. Every time he has to do math, he gets a hopeless look, and Matthew has to help him. There's a running joke in the family that Gerald... The family has a running joke that Gerald went into politics because he could never make it as an accountant. Once Uncle Hector called him the Jew who can't count, and everybody laughed but Gerald and Matthew. And everyone laughed except Gerald and Matthew. When Matthew failed algebra in the first semester, Gerald took him aside and told him, "I know how it is, son. Just keep trying your best." Matthew didn't keep trying. He never tried. Yeah, 2 sentences. Matthew didn't inherit whatever keeps Gerald from putting 2 and 2 together. Algebra wasn't hard at all, he just didn't do the homework, and Mr. Clarence was a real cocksucker about it. Plus, Thirsty hated the class like poison. Matthew was happy to skip it with him. Failure was inevitable. All of this was. Matthew knows Gerald must have the combination written down somewhere. He flips through the Torah on Gerald's desk, checking the margins. He steels himself for another peek in the sex drawer. Gross, but no cigar. Then he remembers how Gerald used to hide his money in his shoes whenever they went to the beach. He starts dismantling. He starts checking through loafers and dress shoes, ripping out insoles and wrinkling his nose at Gerald's toe funk. In the tongue of a ratty old pair of running shoes is a scrap of paper with 2/26/1991. Written in blue ink. Matthew blinks. It's his birthday, February 26, 1991. It's weird for a safe to just have like a 4-number combination too. Isn't it normally like 3 or 5? Once. How far ago was once? Fuck. Oh yeah, that's a good combo. Once. Oh, also let me know if gross but no cigar is so fucking corny that we need to cut it out of the book. I think I would just leave it anyway. But that's one of the corniest things that I've ever written in my life. And I mean, you know me. That's a wide field. It takes Matthew 2 tries to pop the safe. On the top shelf is a stack of $100 bills wrapped in a Ziploc bag. He grabs it and stuffs it in his pocket. Oh, let's take that out. There's also a stack of clear plastic cases. Inside each is a rectangle of gold that reads, Credit Suisse, 1 ounce, fine gold, 999. There are 10 of them. Matthew takes them all. He wraps the gold and the cash in a t-shirt and stuffs them into the backpack. And hides them at the bottom of his backpack. Cool. He finds his birth certificate and his Israeli passport inside an expanding folder. Full of bonds and stock certificates. On the bottom shelf, there's a black case with a 3-dial combination lock. Matthew's a little hesitant to open it, suspecting it's some sick porn shit. Suspecting it's porn. He doesn't see another scrap of paper with the combination, so he tries all the single-digit repeats. 111, 222, 333, etc. It's not that. He tries 123 and 212. And 789. Nope. .007. The lock clicks open. It's a gun. The Glock reads 26 Austria 9x19. It's funny enough, but I don't know if it belongs. We're just gonna leave it in there. Yeah, it's so stupid. It has to stay. Like, also there aren't like a lot of notes of humor in this chapter, and I feel like we're a little bit diverging like too deep into the darkness. But I mean, there's a fair argument to be made for removing that. Like, I feel like some eyes are gonna roll. You know what I mean? We'll see what an editor says. Like, that's one where I would probably listen to an editor if they were like, get this the fuck out of there. Crazy idiot. You're, because this is, you know, this is the conscience scene for Matthew. This is like kind of a turning point where he goes from just being Duchance's pawn to being a victim of abuse somewhat in the reader's eyes. Like, you know, he's still in a lot of trouble. Don't get me wrong. All right, what do we got here? The gun is heavy, but it's a good fit in his hand. Matthew gets his old wool overcoat from the closet in the hall. This safe is his Holocaust 2.0 survival kit. The gun is heavy, but it's a good fit in his hand. Matthew gets his old wool overcoat from the closet in the hall. He checks in the mirror. When the gun's in the front pocket, he can't really tell it's there. Good. He puts on the backpack. No matter what happens, he's never coming back here. Matthew makes up his mind. All the stock certificates and bonds and Gerald's paperwork go into the bathtub. Matthew douses everything with rubbing alcohol. He's about to light a match when he remembers the grill out on the patio. He opens the sliding glass door and disconnects the propane canister, lugging it into the bathroom. setting it on top of the pile in the tub. The matchbook is in his hand. One match and all this will go up in flames. The checks in the mirror sentence is too wordy and too awkward. All right, yeah, let's go up to it. The other part about it is like earlier he was avoiding the mirror. Good. He grabs the backpack. At the front door, Matthew turns back. No matter what happens, he's never coming back here. He thinks about the first time he left. Gerald telling him not to burn his bridges, then cracking him across the face. Literally throwing money at him. Like Matthew is one of the call girls Gerald pretends are dates. The sound of the ice machine. Matthew makes up his mind. All the stock certificates and bonds and Gerald's paperwork go into the bathtub. Matthew douses them with rubbing alcohol. Matthew's about to light a match when he remembers the grill out on the patio. He opens the sliding glass door and disconnects the propane canister, lugging it into the bathroom and setting it on top of the pile. Pile in the tub. The matchbook is in his hand. One match and all this will go up in flames. If it gets hot enough, the canister will explode. It could take out the whole building. Matthew imagines the look on Gerald's face. The match is against the striker strip, with a flick of his fingers, and there's no turning back. But who wants to start this fire? Is it Matthew or Duchance? Matthew holds out a palm. It's just him. The sense of other has diminished since... The sense of other hasn't returned since Thirsty's apartment. Duchance's absence feels like a knife pulled out of a wound. Okay. Yeah, hopefully we fix that mirror sentence. It seems a little bit better. Matthew ought to just light this and climb into the tub. Give himself to the flames. In one swift explosion, he can pay for everything he's done. Then nothing forever. Matthew doesn't believe in hell. The devil lives in Chinatown. He shakes his head. No propane. No burning down a building just to do it. No more monster behind his eyes. If the gray man wants Harlem to burn, he can fucking do it himself. Matthew drags the propane canister back onto the balcony, then tosses a match into the tub. Gerald's papers ignite instantly. Wreathing the tub in blue flame. Matthew waits until everything is too burned to salvage, then he turns the shower on full blast. Fuck you and your bridge, he announces to the empty apartment. The smoke detector begins to go off. Cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that ending right there. Cool. Oh, so we're almost to 500 fucking pages. Let's take a look at No Wiry Feeling. Just him. A sense of other has him return. Cool. No, the smoke detector would have gone off long before. The smoke detector starts going off and he leaves without shutting the door. Cool. I don't. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah. He leaves the door open. He can hear the smoke detector going off as he waits for the elevator. Yeah. All right. You almost got rid of the unrelated added clauses. He doesn't bother to close the door. As he's headed for the elevator, the smoke detector starts to shriek. He takes the stairs instead. All right. Whew. All right, what do we got there? All right, so that's up to 496. I'm not totally satisfied. I don't know. Maybe we'll get an idea for it tomorrow. Whew. There's a lot of work in today. We spent 3 hours on this, which is about the right amount of time. Feels like a 1,400 word chapter. No, it's 1,800 words. All right, 1791. And our time is 3:05. All right, thank you, Spathy Wah, for your help. Tomorrow we will be on chapter 62, which I think is another scene at the pits. Good God Almighty. Had one. All right, let me get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm exhausted. I just make some changes in my life where I sleep better.